Today's the final day of February, the mini month, and the final mini timeline that we're covering. So I thought that it might be a good idea to go with a bit of a bigger one. So we're discussing the Strangers films. These made a pretty large amount of money, so I have to say that I'm kind of shocked that there's only two, but that's not going to last long because it looks like there's more on their way as we speak. But how do they hold up continuity-wise? Do they make sense, or do things get strange? We begin back in 2008 with The Strangers, which starts in my favorite way ever, and that's with a text screen telling us that the film takes place on February 11th, 2005. Thank you for making my job easy. There's a voiceover that echoes the opening of Texas Chainsaw from some of the wording, calling it a true story, and the fact that the dude sounds suspiciously like Dan Fielding. We're then introduced to Underworld Guy and Betty Ross, and they're coming back from a wedding, but things are tense because James proposed to Kristen, and she said no, probably because he did it at a wedding, which is like a big faux pas. How do people still not know this? They're staying at his family's summer home, and they try to work things out, but there's a knock at the door. It's like 4 a.m. and dude just opens the door right up without even being like all, "Who is it?" Then James leaves for a bit to go buy cigarettes, which I don't know, maybe not at 4 a.m., dude, and the knocking continues. And then there's someone in the house. What's he doing there? Just standing. And I know that this is one of those, ooh, isn't it scary because he's in the house moments, but like, what's he doing? Just watching her? Why? He's only there for the benefit of us, the audience. With the knocking, they're trying to spook her and freak her out, but it's not even like he's doing reconnaissance here. He's just standing there. I think that's spooky to some, but to me it's sort of weird from a narrative standpoint. They soon discover that there are several people out there, including the man in the mask, the younger Dollface, who was the girl at the door, and another woman known as Pinup Girl. They have a gun and decide to wait and see what's happening, which just so happens to be when Dennis freaking Reynolds shows up, who just like walks in and skulks around without like calling his friend's name or anything. Like dude, just give a hello or something, I don't know, but then he gets shot. James goes out by himself and she's like, be careful, but the guy just haphazardly blew his best friend's head off. Do you think he's gonna start now? He gets knocked out and Kristen tries to radio out, but Pinup smashes it. They're both eventually caught and morning comes and they're tied to chairs. And when Kristen asks why they're doing that to them, they're told,
"Because you were home."
They then take their masks off and stab them. Later, Kristen is revealed to still be alive and the strangers encounter a couple of boys who are all done up like Mormons, but are carrying pamphlets about Christian living, and they drive off. By the way, I want to quickly point out that they say that this is based on true events, and I guess that's kind of true, but like in the way that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on Ed Gein. So, even though that did quite well, making $80 million off of a $9 million budget, it took 10 years for a sequel to be made, but in 2018 it happened with The Strangers Prey at Night, from the director of the 47 Meters Down movies. Oh boy. It starts with the strangers appearing to an older couple, and then Joan is here, as is the ring guy, who is kind of just sort of like buff Zach Braff. And they're headed on a weekend trip with their kids, going to see their aunt and uncle who live in a trailer park. That night, the unmasked Dollface shows up at their door, once again asking for Tamara, and very quickly they discover their family's dead bodies. Their phones are trashed, and Dollface sparks things off and kills Mom, and everything quickly spirals out of control, with Mike getting in a car wreck that pins him down. The masked man then gets in and stabs him with an ice pick, leaving Luke and Kinsey against the strangers. Their chase eventually leads them to a swimming pool where a pinup girl attacks, but he's able to get the knife and kill her. The man in the mask then shows up and the two fight in the water, but Luke is eventually stabbed while Total Eclipse of the Heart plays, although his sister pulls him from the water. Kinsey finds a cop, but he's killed, although she's able to get his shotgun and shoot Dollface, and asks her why they're doing this, and she says,
Why not?
and then takes a blast to the mug. All that's left is the man in the mask, and Kinsey sets him on fire in a truck, and they do their Christine impression until he gets out and collapses due to his injuries. He's not quite done yet though, but she hits him with a bat and knocks him onto the road, where he seemingly dies. Luke survives, but it seems like someone is possibly still out there. And that may be the case because they've said to be working on a whole new trilogy of films based on the Strangers, possibly with new villains. I don't know, maybe it'll be prequels, maybe they'll reveal that they're not dead. I guess we'll wait and see, and we'll also see if it's an entirely new timeline or if it will fit into continuity with these. So there you have it, it's just 2 movies, but soon to be more. I guess there'll be an update to this at some point in the future, maybe after like 1 or 2 of those come out. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, these are fine. They're fine. I know they got a lot of like hoopla at the time that they were out, particularly the first one. But it's just not my kind of movie. It just feels like horror light to me. Sort of things I've seen before but done better. And they don't really work for me. But I don't think they're terrible movies. They're actually very well done movies, but just not my type of plot line, I guess. Doesn't do it for me. If they did it for you, if you love these, tell me down below. I know quite a few people that love these movies, particularly the first one. Let me know if you're one of those. And again, I'm totally fine with that. I think that they're well-made movies. They're good movies. So you won't get any anger from me. Leave that down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, hit a like. If you enjoy what you see on the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified when new videos come out. And if you want to, go check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/movietimelines. You can help support this channel and keep it going like these guys over here do. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the mini timeline month and these little shorter things. And maybe we'll do that again next year. We'll see. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you very shortly for another great one. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.